What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a chemical engineer. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 5 best foods that boost testosterone levels. If you're new here, I want you to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to teach you how to eat and how to train to boost your testosterone levels naturally so that you can experience what life is like with nice and healthy, thriving testosterone levels. So go ahead and subscribe if you're interested and turn the notification bells on too so that you don't miss out on any of my latest content. By the time you're finished watching this video, you'll have 5 solid foods under your belt to boost testosterone levels naturally. So make sure you stick around for the whole video because when you incorporate all 5 of these foods into your diet, you're going to get the best results. So let's go ahead and dive in. Food number 1, I'm just going to start off with probably the most basic one and the most anticipated one, are eggs. Now the thing about eggs is that really all the nutritional content is in the egg yolk. And I actually made a YouTube short about 3 bizarre ways to boost your testosterone levels naturally, and one of those ways is to just swallow the egg yolk raw. Now this is definitely kind of an extreme thing to do, and here's the thing with doing this. I don't recommend you do this with conventional white eggs. Really pay attention to the quality of the eggs that you're buying. So the ideal scenario is to buy farm fresh local eggs from a farmer that you know how they treat their chickens and stuff, or maybe you have a friend who has chickens. And then the next best option is to buy organic brown cage-free eggs from the store. But this is super important because you can literally see the color difference in the nutritional content. If you want to do a little experiment, go ahead and take a white conventional egg, take a brown cage-free organic egg, crack them both open, and analyze the color of the yolks side by side. You can tell the organic cage-free one has more of a dark orange color, and that kind of signifies the rich nutritional content in it, whereas the white conventional egg, it's pretty much just yellow. So if you do want to give swallowing raw egg yolks a try, I recommend that you stick with a high quality egg and make sure that you don't swallow the egg white part, because really the risk of getting a disease like salmonella or something that comes from swallowing the egg whites or swallowing the egg yolks of a conventional white egg. So pay attention to the quality of the egg if you're gonna give something like this a shot. I've been doing it for years and I've never had any issues, so just take that with a grain of salt. But either way, no matter how you cook your eggs, opt for a good quality organic cage-free egg. Really pay attention to the quality, it does matter a lot. So I won't belabor it too much. Eggs is definitely number 1 on the list. So food number 2 is organic grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef is awesome because it's relatively inexpensive. This is also another thing that I would highly encourage you to connect with your local farmer or something. Get your hands on a good, quality, fresh, grass-fed beef from your local farmer, a farmer's market or something like that. Anything local is probably going to be better than anything that you find at a generic grocery store, but if that is your only option or one of the more convenient options for you, I definitely recommend that you opt for the grass-fed organic beef. Grass-fed beef is full of tons of B vitamins that are super good for you. There's a lot of nutrient density in grass-fed beef, and I'd highly recommend that you get your hands on some of it. One of my favorite dishes to make is just grass-fed beef and white basmati rice. I'll brown the beef a little bit, and then I'll add in the water. I'll bring it to a boil, and then I add in the rice, and I simmer it throughout. And it's kind of a one-pan dish, and it's super easy to make. Just add a little bit of seasoning, and it tastes awesome, and it's super easy and convenient. Food number 3 on my list is organic potatoes. Now, you can opt for really any kind of potato. You can do yams or sweet potatoes or whatever you call them, or you can do any color of a baked potato, a red potato, a gold potato, any of those. All potatoes are very dense in nutrients because they are literally the root part of the plant. There's tons and tons of vitamins and minerals in potatoes, and the thing I love most about potatoes is they're so versatile when you're going to cook them. So you can do something like just throw them in the oven as is, maybe coat them in a little bit of oil and add a little bit of salt and pepper. You can cut them up. You can make potato wedges. There's a million different ways that you can use potatoes to make an awesome, awesome dish. The sky is the limit, so, go crazy on Google and go find some wild recipes out there, but I definitely recommend that you opt for a organic potato. They're full of nice starchy carbs that are awesome for boosting testosterone, and they're going to keep you really full too. So one of the benefits of potatoes, or at least another one, not only are they going to boost your testosterone levels, but they're going to help you lose weight a lot easier because they're very low in calories and they're extremely filling, and they taste pretty awesome if you cook them right. Food number 4 is Brazil nuts. Now, whenever I think of Brazil nuts, I always think of that episode of Friends. Kind of the whole episode is like a what-if scenario, and Monica's what-if scenario is what if she stayed fat and she never lost the weight. So she ends up dating this real dorky, nerdy dude who shares these fun facts with the whole group in the coffee shop. And one of the fun facts that he shares is that Brazil nuts are actually technically seeds. So anyway, that's always what I think of whenever I think of Brazil nuts, but that is correct because that shell portion of the Brazil nut actually categorizes it as a seed. And that part actually is important because all of the nutrient content is in the seed portion of the Brazil nut. So make sure that you don't get de-shelled Brazil nuts if you choose to incorporate these into your diet. The shell portion of the Brazil nut contains a compound called selenium, and it's a very important intermediate in testosterone synthesis. So get your hands on some good quality Brazil nuts. Don't get the de-shelled ones, get the ones with the shell on it. And it's an awesome food for boosting testosterone. One of the best ways that I like to eat them is I'll just put some in a bag or a plastic container or something, and I'll put them in the freezer, and they're really good to eat that way. Then last but not least, food number 5 is oysters. Now, I'm originally from the East Coast. I'm from Maryland, so things like crabs and oysters and all kinds of seafood, they really know how to do things there in Maryland, and I am a big fan of oysters. There's a whole oyster festival in Southern Maryland that people just go crazy over, but oysters are definitely an awesome, awesome food for boosting testosterone because they contain so many micronutrients that you really don't find in a whole lot of other typical muscle meats. So compounds like magnesium and zinc, there's selenium in there also, tons of just micronutrients that you don't really find in high concentrations in a lot of other protein sources. That's what makes oysters such a great testosterone boosting food. And I think oysters are a little bit known for their testosterone boosting effects because it's kind of been theorized that men who eat a lot of oysters tend to be a lot more fertile. And while it is true that yes, they do have testosterone boosting effects, but it really does kind of boil down to the nutrient density in oysters. So get your hands on some good quality oysters. I don't recommend getting the farmed ones. Try to find wild caught ones. I think the best season to get them is sometime around the winter time. I love just throwing oysters in the oven, and probably one of my favorite ways to eat them is add a little bit of salt with some hot sauce, and I just chuck them just like that. So there you go. Those are my 5 best testosterone boosting foods. Incorporate all of these foods into your diet in some way or another, and you'll be boosting your testosterone levels naturally in no time flat. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to give you tons of training and nutrition tips to boost your testosterone levels naturally. So go ahead and subscribe if you're interested because I do post videos just like this one every single week. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks a lot for watching. Let me know if I missed any foods down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the video. I always love hearing from you guys and I really appreciate the support. Thanks again for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.